Wichard, thanks so much for your time. Just explain to us the moves that we have seen in the rand, particularly this afternoon, because I would have thought that more stimulus measures announced by global central banks and global governments like the US would have a supportive factor in that all that cheap money would come flowing into our bond market and be supportive of the rand. Yet the opposite seems to have happened.
Yeah, good afternoon, Fifi. Yeah, quite the opposite is happening at the moment. And the problem is, even with the $1.2 trillion stimulus package that was announced by the US, we've seen emerging markets like the rand, the Mexican peso, the Russian ruble, all of them, Brazilian real just opened, all of them weaker. The thing is, people are so scared of risk at the moment because they're not sure what the pandemic holds for the rest of the world. COVID-19, now the supply chains are going to be impacted down the line, what the impact's really going to be. So even with cheap capital available and the $1 trillion that stimulus package plus the $1 trillion that's available in the repo market for financial institutions in the US, people are still too scared to take on any risk. So like I said, the rand's lost 3% of its value today, but Mexico is down almost 5%, and the Russian ruble is almost down 6% for the day. So the rand, in the bigger scheme of things, is actually not doing too bad against its peers. But if you look at the other major currencies as well, euro is being down tremendously. It's down at below 109 for the first time in a while, and the sterling is down at below 118. It's the lowest levels it's hit since 1985. So it's not just emerging markets being hit; it's across the board. Everybody's rushing back to the dollar. So yeah, it's carnage out there.
All right, so interesting that you say that the rand is actually not the worst faring currency, particularly in that emerging market basket, which makes me ask exactly why have investors or traders not chosen to punish the rand as severely as they have things like the Mexican peso?
I think one of the things is we still offer a little bit of nice real yield in South Africa, and the thing is Russia and Mexico is both linked to the oil price. So oil is down 12% again today. So the Brent crude is down about 7%, and West Texas WTI oil is down just below 12%. So they're heavily linked to the oil market. So with oil being down, they've been hit much worse than the rand. With our real yields, we still haven't seen interest rates cuts from the South African Reserve Bank. So across the world, everybody's cut interest rates before scheduled meetings. We've seen it across the world, and we probably see the SARB cut rates tomorrow aggressively as well, at least 50%. But I think there's a strong possibility they'll even go 75 basis points tomorrow when they announce their interest rate decision. But with inflation up today at 4.6%, I don't think people have to worry too much about inflation a little bit higher than where it was previously. With oil where it is currently, we can see a drastic slowdown in inflation in the coming months because we're going to see massive cuts in oil and fuel prices down the line with oil being at these current levels. So the SARB's got room to cut tomorrow.
All right, so I'm just looking at what the rand is doing right now, and I think that the next key event risk for our currency will be what the South African Reserve Bank does do. You are saying around 50 to 75 basis points possibility. I mean, in the event that the SARB surprises to either sides, where next for the rand?
Yeah, that's an interesting question. Where to next for the rand? It's virtually we're in the hands of what the international market does at this stage. Even if they cut, we just on par with what the rest of the world's going to do. We'll still offer a massive amount of real yield. If you look at the rest of the world's, the US is down at 0, Europe is negative, yen is at 0. So across the world, there's no interest rate. So we still offer real yield. So if we cut 50 basis points, there's a strong possibility we can maybe, if you only cut 50 basis points, there's a strong possibility we can maybe see the rand trade a little bit stronger. Well, what is stronger? Back to 16 rand 60 or 16 rand 50? It's still about 7 or 8% weaker than where we were less than a month ago. So it's still weak, very weak in relation to where it was just a while ago. So the SARB's got, I think they can even cut 100 basis points, 1% tomorrow, and the rand can strengthen a little bit on the back of it. There's just in the hands of the international market. And if they want to punish emerging markets and get out of risk, even if we cut, we don't cut. We won't. If they want to punish the rand, they'll still punish the rand. It's a virtual impossibility to call where the rand wants to go.